Every few decades, a legendary leader comes along and completely disrupts everything we thought we knew about business. And just like that, our lives are forever changed. Napoleon Hill, Zig Ziglar, Steve Jobs, the world is wondering who's next. That man is Trevor Otts, our guest today on Share the Stage.
Okay, all right.
And I wanted to make sure that everybody knows Trevor Otts. He is doing some amazing things out here in the world. So welcome again to Share the Stage, Trevor. Thanks for joining me today. How are you doing, sir?
Hey man, doing really, really well. Happy to be here on Share the Stage, or as they say, I'm happy to be here sharing the stage with Chante Earl. But life is good, right? And life is what we make it, so let's make the most of it. So, all right, so let's do this thing.
Well, you know what? That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to make the most of it. And I'm hoping that you're going to bring the house down. Before we begin to share the stage, though, as you guys are tuning in, I want you to like and share, because the information that Trevor's going to bring to the table, I believe that everybody needs to hear. If you're a solo entrepreneur, if you're an entrepreneur running a small business, if you've got multiple businesses, this man understands systems and he understands this digital era, and he is going to help us have a much better understanding, I'm hoping, after our conversation today. Trevor, first, before we get into that, of all the technical and all the stuff you are known for, who is Trevor Otts? Where are you from? What's been going? How did you create BlackCEO? But I want to know your journey.
Yeah. It's funny because people usually call me an entrepreneur, right? But I kind of think of myself, honestly, as an air mattress-preneur, right? And I know you probably think to yourself, what the hell is an air mattress-preneur, right? And, early in my years of entrepreneurship, there were a lot of really ups and downs, right? One of the things that I struggled with in my early entrepreneurial journey was really this stop and go revenue syndrome, right? And I think a lot of y'all out there probably know what I'm talking about. Revenue is good today, it's down tomorrow. Revenue is good next week, down the next month, right? And we had that stop and go revenue, and and it feels like kind of being in a car when you're in the traffic and somebody driving and they can't halfway drive, like driving with your teenage son. You try to teach your teenage daughter how to drive. And so, in my early years as an entrepreneur, I really struggled with that stop and go revenue syndrome. Man, some of y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Hey, Trevor, I know exactly what you're talking about. Well, in my very early years, I remember this one particular period where things had gotten bad for month after month after month after month, and I was really kind of struggling to put it together. And during that period of time where I was struggling to put it together, um, eventually and inevitably, a lot of things happened on the way. Got my lights cut off, and that's never fun. It's never a cute story to tell. They cut the hot water off, so so it got to the point where at one point where I was going into the office literally early because my lights were off, right? And so I was staying late. Why? Because my lights were off at home. So I would go in early, really stay late, and I was just trying to make it as an entrepreneur. So anyway, after a while, I just couldn't figure out what really was going on. I really hadn't figured out, like, what does it take to be successful as an entrepreneur? And I was doing the classic, entrepreneur dance, fake it till you know what, make it, right? And I guess what happened, Chante, I was guilty of faking it too long, right? They tell you fake it till you make it, but they never tell you how long. How long do you make
How long
money?
do you fake it, right? You know,
Right.
I
too long.
I
Anyway,
can relate to that.
yeah. So one day, I had come home and all my stuff was sitting in the front yard, everything. Right? It was in black plastic bags. And basically, you know what happened? I had gotten evicted. Now, it ain't like I didn't know it wasn't coming because I had got the yellow slip and I got the pink slip, but I was kind of hoping that eventually, you know, I would just figure it out. I didn't. So I came home one day and all my stuff was really sitting on the front lawn, right? And that was like the low point for me as an entrepreneur. And let me say this. As soon as you stop letting your emotions, right, or as soon as you stop letting failure dictate your emotional state, you'll be ready for success. And I want everybody to write that down. As soon as we stop letting failure dictate our emotional state, we will be ready for success. And this was like one of those big points where I like to really like learn. So I'm looking at all my stuff sitting in the front yard. People had gone through it, took the TV, took all that kind of stuff. You know, my pride was hurt. I felt ashamed. And, you know, I'm faking it till I make it. I'm looking like I'm successful, but my business is just a sham on the inside. It's just not working. So anyway, I, you know, get a U-Haul truck, right, get everything packed up, go stay with a friend for a little bit. And then eventually I go and I get a little apartment and I rent it out. Well, when I rented it out, I had no furniture because all the stuff that I had, when I got evicted, when they throw your stuff out, it's not like they can for your couch, like treating your prized possession, you know, they just throw your stuff on the street and that's what it is. Well, anyway, I get this new apartment, I got no furniture, right? I got no furniture and I still haven't figured it out, so I ain't really got no money either. I got a little bit of money, but not enough, you know, to really pull it together. So I go to Walmart, right? I go to Walmart and I get myself an air mattress. Now, here's the thing, Chante. They don't tell you when you buy an air mattress that you ain't supposed to sleep on them things long term. But I was trying to figure my business out, and I needed every dime to keep a roof over my head and to keep my business alive, to keep my dreams alive, to keep my aspirations alive, right? And sometimes you just got to be willing to fight for who you are and what you want with everything you got. Sometimes you got to be willing to fight for it with everything you got. You say it again. Sometimes you got to be willing to fight for it with everything you got. That was me. So I got this air mattress, and I set it up, and you know I blow it up every night. I'm kind of sleeping on the air mattress. After a couple of months, the air mattress springs a leak, a little pinhole leak. And so I would get in the air mattress, and by the time, you know, I would get in the bed by about 10 o'clock, and by the time 4 o'clock in the morning hit, I would literally be on the floor, right? I would literally be on the floor. Now, I got a couple options when I'm on the floor. I can blow the air mattress up and continue to lay there, right? I can just get up, right? Or I can just throw in the towel and say, no, I quit, this is it. But I'm going to tell you this. Here's what I learned, is that when you find yourself on the floor, get your ass up. I'm saying it just like I mean, right? Get up. And I'm going to tell you what I did is every morning when I woke up, I didn't need an alarm clock because every morning at 4 o'clock, I knew that the air mattress would have run out of air mattress. I was going to be on the floor, and I knew it was time to get up, right? And when you find yourself on the floor of life, get up. Get your ass up. Got to get up. And the reason that that kind of stuck with me because even now in my business, you know what time I get up? I'm not in the air mattress. Don't worry, Chante. Not in the air mattress no more. I got a real mattress over there. There's a real mattress over there. Right?
Got a real one, okay.
To this day, you know, this is like 15, 16 years later, I still get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, right? And it's a reminder for me to always get up, right? To always stand up for what you believe, right? To be that type of person where because you're going to hit rock bottom in your business at some point. You're going to hit some tough times in your business at some point. You're going to hit some tough times in your life at some point. You're going to have some things that you're going to go through, right? And see, here's the thing that I want you to know, is that when you find yourself, right, on the ground, when you find yourself at rock bottom, get up. And I don't know who needs to hear that, but I'm going to tell you right now, go ahead and get up, right? Right, because you ain't got no place to go but up. And I know that's a little bit cliche, but it really is the truth. And what else is, really important is that, a lot of times we're seeking out our mentors. And a lot of times we're seeking out who's going to be our coach. And a lot of times we're seeking about who can help us get to the next level. Let me say this. You got to go through and grow through with people who've gone through. So I want you to go through, and I want you to grow through with people who have gone through. Because they have gone through, they are not shook when they see you going through. So people call me all the time where they're like, oh my God, Trevor, if I don't make this work, I'm gonna have to go back to work. If I don't make this business work, I'm about to go back to work. If I don't make this thing work, this is my last. And so I'll say it again. As soon as we stop letting failure dictate our emotional state, we will be ready for success. And so what happens is, are you ready for success? You got to stop, because the failures, they come, right? Wow. The losses, they come. But the real question is, will you keep going when they come? Wow. And these are some of the things I had to learn early in entrepreneurship. And so I really don't consider myself to be an entrepreneur. I consider myself to be an air backpreneur. So you ask who I am, me, Trevor Otts, the original air backpreneur, right? And any air backpreneur knows one thing, that when you find yourself on the ground, get back up. And so my message to everybody is, hey, you can get back up. No matter what's going on, you can get back up. And now it's really interesting to start hearing all the things on the news. They're telling you inflation. Right. They're telling you gas prices going up. They're telling you, here comes the recession, right? Mike Tyson said it best. Everybody's got a plan until they get hit.
Come on now. And Trevor, I had no idea that you are an air mattress-preneur. and that's the original air mattress. And then you know what? That's a serious story. I'm glad that you were willing to be so transparent with us, because a lot of times as entrepreneurs, a lot of individuals don't really understand our struggle. Because I've been an entrepreneur. Let me tell you, I've been an entrepreneur, I would think, ever since I was about 9 years old, where I used to go door to door in the city of San Bernardino, inner city, selling candy that I would buy from the store for 10 cents, selling it at school for 50 cents just to make enough money so I can have lunch money. And I can't tell you how much that I have learned when it comes to selling because of those early days of hustling, and some of it was legal and some of it was not illegal. And let me tell you, it was a challenge just going through the ups and downs. But I'm reminded of the words of Confucius, who said that a man is great not because he hasn't failed, but a man is great because failure hasn't stopped him. And we all know that there's never really been a creatively or a gifted person who has not experienced some type of failure, frustration, or tough times. So the question I have for you is, when you were down on that air mattress, how important was it to stay positive, although what you saw around you seemed so devastating? Because right now, a lot of people see things of doom and gloom, but how we see things and how things are two different things. And what I mean how they really are is how we keep our mindset, our mental, our belief system of what's possible and not what we currently see.
Well, I'm gonna go in a different direction if I might. What got me through was not staying positive, right? The power of positive thinking, that's great. But, and we say stay positive all the time, but the real thing is to stay focused, because failure can create such a distraction, right?
Say that again.
The important part is to really stay focused.
Come on now.
The key to it is don't let failure become your distraction.
Write that
Right?
down,
And
y'all.
so what happens is, when they knocked on my door, they put the little pink slip on there, the yellow slip on there. You know what I mean? That's a distraction. It's an emotional distraction, right? I can remember that when during those tough times, they used to always repossess my car. They used to repossess my car so often that at one point they would just knock on my door, and I knew that I had about 90 days to kind of get that car out of out of repossession before they sell it, right? I used to know all of these little things, right? And I did not be distracted, right? When you're looking like, oh, my mom's gonna think I'm a failure, or my loved one's gonna think I'm a failure, or what am I gonna do next? And all of these things become, really distractions. And what you have to do is the key is during tough times, right? Use that as an opportunity to heighten the focus. Use that as a reason why you become more focused. The key thing is to remember, stay focused, right? I'm glad to tell anybody anything that they were going through right now. Like, man, listen, no matter what you do, stay focused. Like, what's the mission? What's the goal? What are you supposed to be doing? When are you going to do it? What's the deadline? What are you going to achieve today? And it's really interesting is that we tend to be wasteful with our time and our efforts. Sometimes when things are not bad. But when things kind of get tough, you really got to heighten down. One of the things that I did to really pull myself out of that hole was really time blocking, right? Not time management, but time blocking, right? Because you really can't manage time. You guys have all heard that, right? Because time is nothing but a construct. But it's not about you managing time. It's about how you manage yourself within the construct of time. So how do you manage yourself from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m.? How do you manage yourself from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m.? Have you literally blocked out time where you are literally managing what you're going to do within that time structure, right? You can't manage time. You can manage yourself within the construct of time. So going through, no matter what, the number one thing is to get focused, to stay focused. Because a lot of times, some of the things that you're going through, right? Matter of fact, let me put this. All right. Look, it's really. I'm gonna say this to y'all, and I want y'all to listen very closely to what I'm going to tell you. A lot of times in entrepreneurship, Chante, what they tell you is it's all about a return on investment. And if you really think about that, it really is saying is I put my time in. They say if you put your money in, you should get more money out. If you put your time in, you should get money out, right? And what it's really, it creates more like a gambler's kind of talent. And as an entrepreneur, you're going to get some tough time, but I'm about to teach you how to get really focused.
Okay, well, wait a second, because you were dropping some nuggets here, and one of the biggest points that you made out of that is having distractions when you are dealing with tough times as an entrepreneur, because there's always this survival mentality, and you stay in this survival mode, and you'll find yourself doing good things that are not in the line with the great things that you could be doing that could help really propel your business and get you to that actual goal. So whoever's watching right now, whoever's listening, first thing I want you to do is I want you to like and I want you to share this, because I think each and every person that has an ear should hear the importance of staying focused, especially now in this current environment that we're in. So focus is go ahead and write that down. Stay focused and beware of distractions. And then next, I think I know where you're going with this, but I think you're talking about time management, because I heard blocking time and doing chunks. So tell us a little bit about how important it is to have time management and to be able to manage your 24 hours that we all have been graced to receive every single day and not waste it.
So it's kind of going back to, you cannot manage time, but you can manage yourself within the construct of time. So what does that mean, right? So I had to break away from the commonality of return on investment, Because originally in entrepreneurship, I thought that really entrepreneurship was about you put $100 in, you get $1,000 out. You put $10,000 in, you get $100,000 out. Put $100,000 in, you get $1 billion out. And I really thought that was entrepreneurship, right? And really that term ROI is the term really meant for investors, right? But we kind of pulled it into entrepreneurial world and made that our mantra too. But in entrepreneurial world, it's really not about return on investment. In entrepreneurial world, it's about return on finish. Everybody write that down. So I want you to write on your sheet of paper ROI, right? And then I want you to scratch through it. And I want you to literally scratch through it because the hand is a digital recorder for the mind, right? And so it is important for your psyche to see this if you scratch through this. And what you're really looking for is an ROF, a return on finish. Now, here's what return on finish says. It says that it is impossible for anything that I finish to return unto me void. But everything that I leave unfinished as it pertains to my purpose will return unto me as a deficit. Let me just say that again. It is impossible. Literally, it is impossible for anything that you finish to return unto you void. But everything that you leave unfinished as it pertains to your purpose will return unto you as a deficit, right? And so what it comes down to in life are the things showing up in your life. Are you showing up in abundance or are you showing up in deficit, right? Because a lot of times when a deficit shows up in your life, the real question that you got to ask yourself is, what didn't I finish? Because anything that you leave unfinished returns unto you as a deficit. So let me say it another way. If you ain't finished, it's coming back. So sometimes, if your bank account doesn't reflect how good you actually are, it's probably because it's something you didn't finish. Maybe you didn't finish your marketing. Maybe you didn't finish the marketing plan. Maybe you didn't finish your copyright. Maybe you didn't finish your sales plan. Maybe you didn't finish your sales script, right? But it is impossible for anything that you finish to return unto you void. But everything that you leave unfinished will return unto you as a deficit. And so what is the end result of finishing something? The end result of finishing something is really abundance.
Come on.
The end result of finishing something is abundance. But the end result of leaving things unfinished is a deficit. And so what's happening, the things that create failures in our lives is what we've done is we've created sort of a waste of unfinished products. And now it's starting to show up in our life as failure. And so, you're not failing because of you're some bad person. You're failing because there's literally some things that you didn't finish. And so when I was failing, it started to show me the things that I left unfinished. And so when I say get focused, when tough times hit, get focused on what? Get focused on finishing. When I'm saying time blocking, block out time, you're going to finish something, right? And so every day, I got to ask myself the question, what am I going to finish, right? Every day at the end of my day, I got to ask myself, what did I finish, right? And what everybody watching today, you got to really have a heart. You got to have the courage. You got to have the transparency. And you got to have the integrity to ask yourself, am I a finisher?
Come on now.
Because some people talk. Some people are some BSers. Some people are some procrastinators, right? Some people, we start and stop, right? You got to ask yourself, am I a finisher? And so the goal is really to be a finisher. And here's how, and this is really interesting, is that every person on the planet Earth really has the same purpose, and that is to finish. The only question is, what should I be finishing? And the thing that you got to be finishing is the mission. So everybody's purpose is the same, to finish. That is your purpose, right? And depending on your religious beliefs, and I'm not here to tell anybody what to believe, but God created the earth in 7 days, and after He finished creating the earth, here's what He said: it is done, it is finished.
Right.
The Son, Jesus Christ, hanging on the cross, right before He goes to heaven. What does He say? It is finished. It is done. You made it to image. Guess what? I showed you. I did this is finished. Sent my Son. He showed you it's finished. You know what He's trying to tell you? Guess what? You get sent here. You are sent here to finish something. What is your purpose? To finish. So let me end it for you. What's my purpose? Your purpose is very simple. To finish. What you need to finish is the mission. Now, I want you to think about the mission. I like Tom Cruise, right?
Well,
Tom Cruise.
Hold up. Man, I tell you, Trevor, you are really dropping some nuggets for these people today, and you hit it right on the nose, because I found myself starting a lot of stuff and never even finishing it, and getting it to a certain point and then stopping and starting on something else. So it's always been these false starts. And I think a lot of us are dealing with that situation where it's false starts, where we think we're stopping, we're starting, we're stopping, and we're starting. And I don't know what's the ultimate cause of that. Well, the thing about it is since that is a habit, it becomes a habit. Tell us how to possibly give us a strategy or a tool that you've discovered that have worked for you to complete what it is you're starting.
What I do is I do sprints every morning. I'm a sprinter, right? And we call them destiny sprints. And a destiny sprint is literally, it's the thing that you do before you start your day. Not only is it the thing that you do before you start your day, but you block out a certain amount of time that you're going to do. So you may just say, hey, every day, Monday through Friday, for the first hour of my day, I'm going to work on, let's say, I'm going to work on writing my ad copy, writing out my emails. The second half of the day, I'm going to specifically, for another hour, I'm going to work on this. You might just say, I'm going to spend the first 30 minutes reading the book Instinct by T.D. Jakes. So one of the things that I did was I started getting into sprints. And literally I sprint with my, I have a sprint team where my first group of sprinters, we get together at about 5:30 in the morning, Central Standard Time, 6:30 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. And literally every day, Monday through Friday, for 1 hour, we are working on something specifically in relationship to the company, right? And then that is the first sprint. And what that did was it increased everybody's habits. It changed the culture of the company, but it put the company on a track of completion. So it's all about your COC, consistency of completion. And what happens is, one thing you'll learn about finishing, I want everybody to write this down, finishing creates its own momentum. Finishing creates its own momentum. So the more stuff that you finish, right, the faster you get at finishing things. And what's happening is you have to sort of build out the habit of finishing things. And so we do it through morning sprints. We call them destiny sprints. And literally, I want y'all to write this down. 4 sprints a day is the 7-figure way.
Wait.
3 sprints a day.
Yep. Four sprints a day is a 7-figure way. All right.
4 sprints a day is the 7-figure way. And I'll make sure to send you guys the document too on how to do a sprint for those people who want it. 3 sprints a day is the 6-figure way, right? 2 sprints a day is the 5-figure way. 5-figure way, right? So literally, it's having these organized sessions that are designed to work for a very specific amount of time on a particular goal, right? And so there's always is what are you sprinting towards, right? And so it's like, what are you sprinting towards? I'm sprinting towards building my website. I'm sprinting towards building up my funnel. I'm sprinting towards finishing his book. So the question is, what are you running towards, right? And then the next question is, when you're trying to finish something, you got to ask yourself the question is, who do you need to help you finish this particular thing? See, a lot of times when we hire coaches and we hire mentors, we are hiring them because we are enamored about something they do, some way that they do something. But what we need to really ask the question is, what are they there to help you finish? What do I need to finish? So when I interview a coach or I interview a mentor, even for myself, the first thing I ask them is I ask not who have they worked with, I ask who have they helped finish? It's a different question. And what did you help them finish? Because I know that it's impossible for anything that I finish to return unto me void, but everything that I leave unfinished as it pertains to me and my purpose, what I'm here to do, is going to return unto me as a deficit. So what happens, I like what you said about false start, it tracks. A false starter gets you disqualified. right?
Yeah, facts.
You know what I mean? Right, you come off the starting blocks early, you're gonna get disqualified. So with the, you got to ask yourself is, who do I need to help me finish, right? When do I want to finish? And what tools do I need to finish? Who do I need to help me finish, right? When do I want to finish this thing? And what tools do I need to finish? And so what happens is the people that you sprint with, that becomes a part of your destiny sprint. So those people that you sprint with become part of your destiny circle, meaning you are trying to fulfill purpose. You are trying to fulfill your destiny, right? Because remember, what are you trying to do? Finish. What are you trying to finish? The mission. What's the mission? Like, think about it like Tom Cruise, right? Da-da-da, da-da-da. You know the song, right? And he dropped out of the sky, right? But if you ever look at how that movie ever starts out, he always gets a phone call, right? And it says, blah, 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 this mission is going to explode. But they always ask one question. Do you accept this mission? If you choose to accept this mission. A lot of times we start doing things and we never accepted the mission. But check this out. After he accepts the mission, before he does anything, he has to accept the mission. All of a sudden, you see this dude jumping out of planes, skiing down mountains, getting shot at by bad guys, getting in fights, blowing up bombs, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And you're saying to yourself, why is this dude is like jumping out of planes? Because once you accept the mission, what you're saying is, I'll do whatever it takes to do what? Complete the mission. To do what? Finish the mission. So here's my question to you. As powerful people ask powerful questions. This question is still focused. Here's the real question. Have you really accepted the mission? Your mission in entrepreneurship, your mission in business, your mission in the have you ever actually accepted the mission? Right? You say, oh, I like to start a business. So what? A whole lot of people want to start a business. Right. I'm thinking about starting a business. So what? A whole lot of people thinking about starting a business. Right? I'm thinking about trying to sell this product. So what? A whole lot of people thinking about selling this product. But thinking about, trying, wondering about, pontificating about, that's a lot different than the mission. And so I would challenge everybody here is, did you accept the mission? Like, what are you here to complete on your entrepreneurial journey?
Right.
These are tough questions, right? Over you, Chante.
That's good, man. That's good. That right there is good. Man, I tell you, you said powerful questions, it brings powerful answers. Yeah. That is so true. And asking the right questions is everything. You also mentioned, who do you need to help us finish? That's a question that you gave us. Who do you need to help us finish? And when do I want to finish? And what tools do I need to finish? For those of you who are watching right now, I hope that you are taking notes. Let's reach out to some of the audience members who's watching right now. We got Deron Robinson. Hey, Deron, how you doing? He said 3 sprints a day is a 6-figure way. Okay. We got Reggie Keys. He's on with us today. Doris Herbert is on with us today. And if you guys got a question as you guys are watching, go ahead and drop it in the comment area, because we've got Trevor Otts with us today from BlackCEO. He has built a huge network. Trevor, speaking about coaching, because you did mention finding someone to help you finish, how important is it to have a mentor and someone that's going to be there with you throughout the process, so that you can get to that finish line? Because every great athlete has a coach, has a mentor, and I'm sure you have a coach and a mentor right now in your business.
Yeah, and I think, and it's funny because, it's in my early days, I was paying like $50 and $60. Now I probably spend close to about 6 figures a year on mentorship style programs, right? And you got to get there when you get there. But let me say it this way. There's a lot of different ways to learn stuff. You can learn stuff the easy way, you can learn stuff the hard way. A lot of times, I'm going to say it again, you got to go through and grow through with people who have gone through. You got to do that. And so, you're going to go through some things as an entrepreneur. You're going to go through some things as an author. You're going to go through some things as a speaker. You're going to go through some things in life anyway. And the things that you go through, you should be open to learning the lessons of those things. And so you got to go through and grow through with people who have gone through. if you do things without a mentor, a lot of times you can make something that should take, let's say, 3 to 6 months. Now you making it take 3 to 4 years. All because you ain't get a mentor. All because you stubborn. All because you egotistical. All because you're prideful, right? You know, as entrepreneurs, we come with big egos, right? But the hardest thing that an entrepreneur has to do is to really ask for help. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to give you guys a formula, because all success in life comes with a formula, right? I want y'all to write this down. D plus D equals D. D plus D equals D. And that's to say that a decision plus discipline, right, equals dominion. And so I like what Shay Brown's father used to say. He used to say that it's easy to do, it's easy not to do. But if it's hard, it's the first thing you should do. Why? Because doing the hard things in life develops discipline. So D plus D equals D. A decision, you made a decision to be an entrepreneur, but do you have the discipline to follow through on it? Do you have the discipline to finish? Because the decision plus discipline equals dominion. Dominion over your bank account, dominion over your life, dominion over your family, dominion over your community, dominion over the world in which you exist in, right? But check this out. Write this down. D minus D equals D. A decision minus discipline equals a disaster, right? And so if you look at your bank account and it's a disaster because you ain't got no discipline, and that's a straight up truth.
That's
right. If you're looking at your business and it's a disaster, it's because you lack the discipline. You're looking at your marketing and it's a disaster, it's because in some ways in your business you operate in an undisciplined way. I can tell you something. Undisciplined people don't finish stuff. Undisciplined people don't finish stuff. They get no return on finish. And so here's what else I'll tell you. You know, to work with a mentor, you have to have a high level of personal accountability, right? So first things first, if you ain't got no discipline, you need a coach, right? If you got the discipline, but you lack it, you need to get to that next level, it's time for you to get a mentor, right? Because the coach is really sort of dealing in your day-to-day operations, your process, how you operate. But at the mentor, now you kind of, at that next level, they teach you principles. It's like the coaches say, do this, do that, do this, do that, do this. Where your mentor tends to deal with the big picture. And here's something that I'll tell you. And I want everybody to write this down. And you can know a lot of stuff. Look, man, you see all these books up here. You know, I've read a lot of stuff, right? And I went to a lot of programs. I bought the books, and I bought the coaching programs, and I bought the course, and I done hired the coaches, and I watched a lot of YouTube videos, and watched the TED talk. I've done it all, right? Well, I'm gonna tell you something. Until you train with what you know, the full manifestation of what that knowledge is supposed to be and do in your life will never show up.
Wow.
Until you train with what you know, the full manifestation of what that knowledge is supposed to be and do in your life will never show up. So what happens is, like, think of it this way, right? You get the treadmill. I got a treadmill, you got a treadmill. We both learn how the treadmill works. We both learn about the cardiovascular system and how running circles your heart and how you can breathe better, and how you go live longer. You got a treadmill, I got a treadmill. Let's just say person number one learned all the same stuff. Person number two learned all the same stuff. Person number one started training with what they know. Person number two knew it but never did any training with it. Person number three lived to be 150 years old. Person number two kept his diabetes at 50, get his leg cut off, and then died. Right? But they both had the same information.
Wow. You know what, Trevor? You hit it right on the nose. You hit it right on the nose right there. And you just gave us so much in the words that you've just spoken. I tell you, by training what you know, you now become a consultant. And the beauty is all of us have the ability to be a consultant. And if you have a certain skill, if you've developed and you put in 10,000 hours, you become a master at something, the way to learn is to teach. And that's always been my focus for years, for decades. I've always learned and then I teach. And most of my students have been my kids. They're like, Dad, be quiet, right? My wife, I'm trying to teach her. But then I teach people that I meet and that I know and that I actually are involved with. And that's why we created Share the Stage, in order to teach and to be able to bring quality information to the masses. You know, Trevor, your time is valuable, and I really appreciate the things that you've brought to us in this time. Now, right now, you are running a successful movement, I call it, the BlackCEO movement. How in the world do you build to 7 figures in your business? Can you give us a couple of tips on how to build a business to 7 figures?
Instead of giving you a tip, I'm gonna give you a formula.
Okay, formulas are even better.
Yeah, because you think about it, like how do you make water? We all know the formula for water, right? H2O, right? 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen equals what? Water, right? So here's what I want you guys to write down. Here's a formula, right? And don't limit it to 7 figures. 7 figures, 8 figures, 9 figures, 10 figures, 12 figures, whatever amount of figures. It's going to still, formula still is the same. Formula is real simple. It is M plus M plus M equals M. M plus M plus M equals M. That is to say that a movement plus a message plus a methodology equals money. Movement plus message plus methodology equals money. So what is the movement? The movement is the concept or idea that people rally together. And so a lot of times you created a brand, but you didn't really create a movement, right? And every brand needs a movement, right? And it's that concept or that ideal that is so compelling that it makes people rally together around your brand. And I'm gonna keep this kind of short because there's a lot of pieces. But here's what I will tell you, is that every brand must have a movement, but every movement must have a moment. Those moments must be disruptive, and it's the disruptive moments within your movement that give it momentum. Right? Every movement must have a moment. Those moments must be disruptive. And it's a disruptive moments within your movement that give it momentum. And so, when we talk about a moment, it is a dispensation of time of heightened relevance. So what are you doing in your movement that's relevant to the people that you're called to serve right now? It's got to be relevant to their lives right now. It's got to be relevant to their lives right now. And every movement must have a moment, but those moments must be disruptive. And people ask powerful questions, what is disruption? Disruption is challenging the norm. Challenging what they normally think, challenging what they normally say, challenging what they normally do, right? And that's easy to do that, but then we got to kind of do like Michael Jackson said, we got to talk to the man in the mirror. We got to challenge what we normally think, challenge what we normally say, challenge what we normally do, right? And then after you do that, you got to be willing to challenge what the industry normally thinks, what the industry normally says, and what the industry is normally doing, right? So you got to be willing to challenge. You got to be willing to challenge your clients and customers. You got to be willing to challenge yourself, right? And you got to be willing to challenge others, because every movement must have a moment. Those moments must be disruptive, and it's a disruptive moment within your movement that gives it momentum, right? And so movement is the concept of idea that people rally together around. But within that movement, it's got to be relevant. You got to challenge the people, right? And you got to be disruptive, right? Because every brand must have a point of disruption. The two of us are the same, but one of us ain't needed. Right? And then you got your movement plus your message plus your methodology equals money. So what about your message? The message is the thing that you're saying to inspire people to take inspired action. Well, what people? The people that's a part of your movement. So the first thing you got to learn when you're running your brand and you're trying to build up a $1 million, a $1 billion brand is that your message ain't for everybody, either is your movement. Your message ain't for everybody, and either is your movement, right? Most people have never heard the story of the third giraffe, right? If you've never heard the story of the third giraffe, with me. I've never heard the story of the third giraffe. But Noah was building an ark. What was Noah building an ark? Noah was building an ark to what? Save the world, right? And so basically, on his ark, he wanted 2 buffaloes, he wanted 2 goats, he wanted 2 parakeets, right? He wanted 2 lions, he wanted 2 tigers, he wanted 2 of what? Every animal, right? And so he also wanted 2 giraffes. Well, there were 3 giraffes standing on the beach, right? And they were talking. The giraffe was like, what you think about? You think you're going to get on there? I don't know, dog. I'm thinking. And so the third giraffe said, well, who has he ever helped? Well, last time I had heard, right, and he was talking about last time, he was talking about, well, I think I'm going to do it. And so he was pontificating, he was procrastinating, he really didn't have a heart to finish, right? He really wasn't bringing things to completion, and he was really yapping. He was trying to talk to the other people who was trying to move on with their life, trying to move on with their business, trying to move on and get to the next level, right? They were trying to make it, just like entrepreneurs. So the third giraffe said, you know what, I'm wait. Let me see what y'all do. I'll catch y'all next time. Well, the other two drafts ahead got them off. The reason why you never heard the story about the third draft, because the third draft ran. Right? The third draft was left behind to drown in his procrastination, to drown in his unwillingness to complete things, to drown in, right, his fear, to drown in his doubt, right? You never heard the story about the third draft. The third draft found along with the third monkey, with the third parakeet, the third hippopotamus, the third dragon, and the third lion, right? Because you never hear about the people who don't finish. What you hear about is the people who do finish. And so you got your movement, plus your message, plus your methodology. But your message ain't for everybody, and neither is your product. So make sure that in your movement and your message, you are building that brand, building that product, and building that service towards the people that you will call to serve. And then there's your methodology. Your methodology is the process or the system that you use to produce results. For who? The people that you call to serve. So it's the process or the system that you use to produce results, first for yourself, second in your business, and third for the people that you are called to serve. You got to produce results. I'm trying to do all the day. Why do you I'm so passionate. I'm so passionate. You know, I'm just so passionate about this. Great. Well, here's what I can say. Passion minus process equals power. Right? Passion plus process equals profit. And a lot of times, our processes don't match our level of profit. Our passion doesn't match our level of profit, the level of our systems, right? And so you got to bring it all together. You got to bring together that movement, that message, and that methodology so it can create that manifestation, which is money. M plus M plus M equals N. Write it on your chart. Write it on your wall. Write it on your refrigerator. Write it everywhere. M plus M equals M. And all you got to do is figure out what M do you need to be working on as it pertains to your stage in business, right? Wow. And so, try to keep a formulaic approach. There's a formula for everything you really want to do. So when you're working with coaches and mentors, you should look for people who know the formula to the success that you see. And they have a track record of not who pays you. They have a track record of people I have helped finish. Let me tell y'all something. Go ask your coach who have they helped finish. Ask your coach, how will you help me finish? You should be listening for, they're going to help me finish my course, finish my book, finish my marketing, whatever they need to finish, right? And you're hearing this stuff now, but I'm going to say it again. Until you train with what you know, the full manifestation of what that knowledge is supposed to be and do in your life will never show up. And what is the full manifestation of knowledge? Mastery. And here's this closing statement that I'll give. Man needs mastery to fulfill his purpose. Man needs mastery to fulfill his destiny, right? And if you don't have mastery, you'll never unlock what you really want in your life. You'll never unlock your destiny. You'll never unlock the things that are meant for you. You're trying to unlock something to that next level, 5 figures, 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures, to unknown quantity, to well-known quantity, right? What you got to do is you got to finish some things, right? You got to train for what you know. Why do you train for what you know? So you can finish some things, right? So ultimately you can get to mastery. What is the full manifestation, right, of knowledge, right? It is mastery. You need mastery to get to the next level. You need mastery to start thinking about get 7 figures. 7 figures is the new 6 figures. But now we're talking about how do you become a billionaire, not how do you become a billionaire, and to start being big. So train for what you know. Y'all say that, right? What did you learn? How you gonna train with? What are you gonna do to train with? You learn these things. How you gonna train? Who you gonna train with? Do you need a trainer? Like, do you need somebody to help you train with that? When you're talking about finishing something, who do I need to help me finish? When do I want to finish? And what tools do I need to finish? I need to finish working out. Well, who do I need to finish with? I need a trainer that I know. When do I want to finish? I need to lose 50 pounds before winter gets here. Okay, what tools do I need? I need a treadmill. I need a rowing machine or whatever. You got to start putting together a plan to finish. And if you want to teach your kids and teach them how to finish, you want people around you, get from around anybody that's not finishing. You got a bunch of people that don't finish, you won't be a non-finisher too. And finishing, people who don't finish leave deficits. People who don't finish always leave a deficit. The only question is, Do you want to have to pay for? Do you want to have to pay for what they don't finish?
Woo! Woo! Wow! Wow! You know what? That was fire! Hey, you guys who are watching, I want to see some hearts, some fire. Trevor Otts has brought down the house on Share the Stage. I'm excited. I'm ready to go finish some stuff. I'll probably put 12 hours in, another 12, just to complete what I've got on the table that I haven't finished yet. So, you know what, Trevor? I want to thank you for just being part of Share the Stage. I want to thank you for being the man that you are out there in Maryland, making things happen with BlackCEO. I know you've been traveling all around the country speaking. I know there's events coming up, and I know that you've got a program that you're about to launch. Can before you leave us, tell us a little bit about your program that you put in place.
So here's the thing, right? First, there's an event coming up called sevenfigurepreneur.com. The focal point is literally our mission is to get you seven-figure focus. Seven-figure focus, right? You know, it used to be about six figures. But really, you can be six figures and still be in a mountain game. Still be in six figures, still be in the middle of the struggle, right? So the goal is to get you seven-figure focus. And so if you listen to me closely, if you've been fighting that fight a little too long, right? You know for a fact, you're trying to get to seven figures, you just don't know how to do it. Right? You're tired of trying to do everything by yourself. If that is really you, then just go on over to sevenfigurepreneur.com and go ahead and attend. It's a 3-day event. It's going to get you seven-figure focus. It's going to get you the tools, teams. It's going to get you the strategies, blueprints. I mean, literally, it's a hands-on event. So if you're coming to get motivated, listen, if you need to get motivated, don't be an entrepreneur. When you're an entrepreneur, you come to the table motivated. So this ain't about motivation. This is about monetization. So let me be clear. So if you need motivation, don't come to this event. I'm telling you, don't come to this event. This is about when you come to this event, it's because you're going to get seven-figure focus and you're going to finish something. Every event that we do, we make sure that every attendee finishes something, right? Because we're here to get you an ROF, return on finish. That's our mission. Number two, some of us have been in business for a long time, but you know you need help, but you just don't know exactly where to get it from. Some of y'all, they say that, it's about the visual aesthetics of your brand, and that you gotta quote unquote a seven-figure brand, but your graphics look like a $2 mess, right? So if that's you, you need better graphics. Your pages look whack, or your book covers look whack. Your logo is kind of shaky. It's like it looks janky. You know what janky is, right? If that's you, go to BlackCEO GraphicClub.com. I put the link up for y'all today. BlackCEO GraphicClub.com. And guess what? You can get started for $1. So some of that stuff you can get fixed today for $1 for 7 days. You want to continue after that? You pay the fee. But for 7 days, and for $1, you can be living your best life, as they say. Some of y'all, you got the graphics together, but technology ain't your thing. And even if it was your thing, you ain't got the time to be trying to figure out how to work your CRM, how to work ClickFunnels, how to work ThinkFig. And you're not doing that. You like, look, I got better things I can do with my time. For you, you can go to BlackCEOTechClub.com. Guess what it costs to get started? $1, right? Then for some of you, you just ain't making no sales. You ain't making no sales. You like, look, I'm scared of sales, I'm shy about sales. Trevor, I'm struggling, right? I ain't making the sales. All right, no problem. Go to BlackCEOSalesClub.com. Now, let me tell you what we did. I'm telling you exactly what we did. I feel like the average entrepreneur should be able to at least hit six figures with under $1,000 investment, literally. And so you need to be able to pull the things off the shelf that you need. Whether you need graphics, pull that off the shelf. Whether you need tech, pull that off the shelf. Whether you need tech help, pull that off the shelf. You need sales help, pull that off the shelf. You need people to do your copyright, write your emails, write your pages, pull that off the shelf. And literally, BlackCEO, right, has built a modular success system that can meet you wherever you are on the income scale. right, on the income spectrum, that we can meet you where you are and get you to the next level. I don't care if you start at $0 or $10. We can meet you where you are and get you to the next level. And so here's the final thing that I'm gonna tell y'all, and I want y'all to remember this. I don't care if y'all know nothing else I said today. That's okay. But you hear me on this one. We're BlackCEO, right? And we are a movement designed to really help Black entrepreneurs become more successful to run companies. But here's what I want you to know, is that the number one problem that today's Black entrepreneur is facing is an addiction to our labor as the primary mechanism by which we generate revenue. The number one problem that we're facing as Black entrepreneurs is an addiction to our labor as the primary mechanism by which we generate revenue. Here's the truth. The number one problem facing today's small business entrepreneur is an addiction to our labor as the primary mechanism by which we generate revenue. And so what happens is you got to break your addiction to labor. You got to break your addiction to labor. So stop trying to do every doggone thing yourself, right? The whole goal is you can use labor to start you can use your own labor to start your business, but you'll never grow your business with your own labor. And so you got to get out of the labor business. You got to get out of the personal labor business, right? Because at the end of the day, the whole goal is you might use your labor to start your business, but you use their labor, think what I'm saying, to grow your business. Somebody else's labor to grow your business. And so the goal is, how do you generate revenue without using your labor? Let me tell you this. If you have yet to learn how to generate revenue due to using somebody else's labor other than yours, you're not at CEO status yet. You at self-employed status. And so it's time for you today to make that transition. Like, how do I go from self-employed to being a CEO, right? Powerful people ask powerful questions because questions steer your focus. And in business, you only get what you focus on. So start asking your question. The question every day is, how do I go from being self-employed to being a CEO? How do I go to running a company? Because what you got to do is, I want you to think in this way. The more that you put other people to work, right, the less you have to work for the revenue that you created. The more that you put other people to work, the less you have to work for the revenue that you created. Now, that's the first tier. So the first tier is, you start a business using your own labor. The second tier is you start using their labor to produce revenue, right? So the more you put people to work, the less you have to work for the revenue you produce. Wow. Now that you started producing revenue, you got to put your money to work. So the more that you put people to work, the more that you put. Once you master the goal of putting people to work, and you master the goal of putting your money to work, then you no longer have to work for the revenue you produce. Because the number one problem that we face as Black entrepreneurs is an addiction to our labor as the primary mechanism by which we generate revenue. And y'all know the stories. Y'all have heard the stories before, which is, you see those of Asian descent, they hire their own. Great, they should, right? You see these people, they hire their own. The problem that we have as Black entrepreneurs, we don't hire enough, right? We take more jobs than we give, and that's God honest truth. Number one problem facing today's Black entrepreneurs is an addiction to their labor. That's the primary mechanism by which they generate revenue. So when I told you to go to BlackCEOClub.com, I'm trying to take some labor off your plate so you can start thinking like a CEO and running your company, right, instead of running yourself into the ground. When I told you to go to BlackCEOTechClub.com so somebody can build out those online funnels for you to bring in business, because the funnel is an online process designed to produce a result, predictable, repeatable, profitable, sustainable, and scalable, right? I'm trying to get that labor off your plate, right? When I tell you to go to BlackCEOSalesClub.com, right? Why am I telling you to go to BlackCEOSalesClub.com? So that can get that off your labor. Some of y'all, right, you think you're Superman, you think you're Superwoman, but you don't lead tall buildings with a single bang, right? It's time for you to really start to put the systems in place that allow you to employ people so that you don't kill yourself on the way to seven figures.
Wow.
And that's what it is, y'all. That's what it is.
Well, you know what? That is exactly what it is, Trevor. And you hit it right on the nose. I hope you guys got a lot of value out tonight's conversation with Trevor Otts, CEO of BlackCEO. And make sure you go and you follow him on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you mention Share the Stage when you go to any of those websites, I'm sure he'll take great care of you. Trevor, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you coming on today. And before we leave, you've given us so much. Can you just give us one last note for the people? What do you want to leave the people with?
Every business, no matter the size, has a culture, right? And bad businesses have a poor culture, right? And bad businesses waste resources. And so you want to make sure that you're not the type of business that's wasting resources, including your own. And so you want to work on building out the culture of your company. And if I know I threw a stage, I got hit with a file. So you're thinking, well, Trevor, where do I start? I'm going to make it real simple for you. Everybody texts me today. Don't text me tomorrow because I'm not sending it. You text me today. I don't got nothing to sell you. So, I'm going to send you what I said I'm going to send you, and that's that. You can text me at 240-731-6646. 240-731-6646. 240-731-6646. That's my personal. Text it direct. Text me direct. I'm going to send you the document on how to do a destiny sprint. And come Monday morning, my prayer for each of you is that you would have started your first sprint. Just commit to working on something every day for the next week for at least 30 minutes, maximum 1 hour. One thing, decide on who you're going to work on it with, right? And decide on what you're working on. Start with your first sprint. When you first start, it's going to be rough because you're like, well, what are we doing? Why am I here? I'm doing it right. But after week 1, week 2, week 3, you're going to develop some real rhythm. You're going to develop some real habits. And you're going to develop some real breakthroughs. And what you're trying to get through is you're really trying to get to your breakthrough. Today, we're talking about your 7-figure breakthrough. Tomorrow, we might be talking about your first book breakthrough, right? We might be talking about finishing your course book, right? But you got to start to build out that consistency of completion.
Amen.
Right? These days, don't be motivated by saying you can get to 7 figures. Be motivated about finish. Every day, I can wake up with one goal. What the heck am I going to finish with? And so, those of you who need a little bit of a push on there to say, hey man, I need some help finishing something. When you talk to me about what you want to finish.
Amen.
That's period. I got no competition for that. Other than what you want to finish.
Amen. Amen. And I really appreciate that. So we're going to go out and we're going to get some things finished. Thanks a lot for your time, Trevor.
One thing, Chante.
Yes, sir.
Listen, remember, do business with the people who do business with you, and you'll always do business. Do business with the Speaker's Toolbox, right? Do business with Share the Stage, right?
Yes.
Y'all should be sharing this out to other places. Do business with the people who do business with you, and you'll always do business. This guy's out here doing business with y'all. He's showing up for y'all. The question is, he showed up for y'all, but the real question is, did you show up for him? Did you share it out? Did you check it out? Did you visit the man's page? Did you visit his business? Did you find out how you can buy a book, buy a product, buy a service, anything? Do business with the people who do business with you, and you'll always do business. So let's make sure that you are running a reciprocal business model. So make sure you're following him on Facebook, sharing him out, right? I'm a visitor, right? This is his house. I'm visiting, right? I'm a guest, right? And the reason why you are here, because he brought in a guest to help you. So do business with the man who's helping you. Do business with the people who do business with you, and you'll always do business. Do business with Share the Stage. Do business with the Speaker's Toolbox, and make sure that you at least ask about what products and services they offer.
Amen.
Over to you, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you all who watched us today. Make sure you guys like and comment and share this out. If you watch the replay, you're going to need to watch it a few times because he gave us a lot to actually digest. But we thank you so much because I'm full. And Trevor, you just continue to be who you are and continue to be a blessing to the world, my brother. Thanks a lot.
Sure will.
And we'll see you next week on Share the Stage. Bye now.